Such a creature could beat an army in the light of day, yet it waits until the dead of night and preys upon men as they dream. It is the nightmare. It yearns to be feared, feared for all eternity. I'm Snoops, and this is Strangeful Things.
Sheltering in place is not advised, as your survival cannot be ensured in that scenario.
Love has practically caused me to just get you destroyed.
Unsolved, unresolved, and super complicated.
Strangeful Things.
Hey all, welcome back to Strangeful Things. Before we start, we have to send all of our love to Shuey. He's not feeling so great, and he'll surely be listening. So hey Shuey, we miss you. We're back this week to dive into the very creepy, the very crawly cryptid known as Popobawa. But before we get into that, we hope you all enjoyed Acadia's two-part love story on the very lovely West family. We all wanted to thank Emma for putting up with Acadia and taking one for the team so we could all enjoy the 2 weeks off. Well, some of us got the 2 weeks off and some of us were worked to the bone.
That's
I feel
right.
like I haven't been here with you guys forever, so I'm happy to be here with Acadia and Mells. How was your Christmas, guys? Any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, my Christmas was great. Santa bought Wildcat a skateboard. That has been quite an adventure, especially when you try to tell him that you can't skateboard in the snow. So thanks, Santa, you big bastard. And I do have a resolution, which is to drink more water. And I am on, day 5 of no Dr. Peppers. And this has been very hard for me. So,
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sleeping any better at night, so I'm not really even sure why I gave up the Dr. Peppers.
Did you get a headache from the caffeine?
Oh, yeah. Well, I still drink my coffee in the morning, and that helps. Right. But, yeah, I'd say that part has kind of it's been weaned out for the most part. So that's good.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You better not have to pee in the middle of recording.
Oh, I tried to listen. I've had kids, so I can't help the way my bladder is now. Okay.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't have any resolutions, mainly because I couldn't think of anything. So in a week or so, I'll think of something that I haven't done yet, and then say that was my resolution.
That's a good plan.
That's how I do Lent.
Oh,
I don't think that's how it works.
That's what I do
exactly
for
how
Lent.
it works.
Yeah, I try to think of the things that I have not given up yet, and then I try to go that route. It's usually late too. I'm like, oh, I've got like Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday to catch up on because I've technically had a month and a half to think about Lent, but
Nope.
I love it.
No, it's always crunch time for me.
So no good, Acadia?
Oh, well, I guess it's been cold here, which is cold in North Carolina is not like cold everywhere else. It's relatively cold, but it's better than it being hot all the time. So I got to wear my new sweatshirt that I got for Christmas.
Oh, well, that's new and good.
Yep. Oh, technically, yes, it's both of those things.
Well, that's good. So what's new and good? Well, I had a major fail camping weekend.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was something. So I tried to do like something nice and book a cute little weekend in like a glamp site.
Oh
It
no.
should have been
Okay.
my first. Just don't do it. It's snowing. It's upstate. Not a good idea. Yeah, so we just failed. We couldn't get up the mountain. Then we looked at another campsite. It just wasn't for us. So we turned around and drove back the 4 hours and had a nice weekend of watching Unsolved Mysteries. And yeah, I'm not mad about it.
I would take Unsolved Mysteries even over glamping, I think. So I'd say that's a good thing for you.
You know what? It wound up, we didn't kill each other. It was a super stressful situation. So
That's
You know,
good. You don't want to start your new year off with murder quite yet.
No.
You want to build up to that.
So
If I went glamping, I would watch Unsolved Mysteries on my phone.
you can't watch anything on your phone in the mountains.
Yeah,
Well, then
you
I
don't
wouldn't
get
go.
any reception, I guess.
The purpose of getting into the mountains is to like unplug.
Yeah, but then he'd have to unplug his oxygen machine and like everything else he's hooked up to. So that's why he just stays at the house.
There's every single crazy serial killer murderer that we cover on this show came from a time before cell phones. So obviously cell phones have cured it.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Actually, I when I used to work for the surgeon, I forget why we were talking about it, but 20 years ago, even 20 years ago, now 25 maybe, everybody smoked. Like it was it was only until like the late 90s that people started bitching about smoking.
Right.
It was just a given. And now it's unheard of for the most part. And I asked him, I said, what do you think 25 years from now is going to be the thing that everybody looks back on and says, you know, I can't believe we did that. And he said it would be cell phones.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun. 25 years from now, mark it. That'll be a story.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, I'd like to say I'm not attached to it, but I absolutely am. And you wonder, like, having that thing up to your face every 5 seconds, it's got to be doing something.
It's doing nothing. It's heating up your cheek, that's all.
Heating up your cheek. It's a face warmer.
It's a face
Anyway,
warmer.
no one uses their phone as a phone anymore anyway.
Yeah, it's like my mini computer.
If anyone fucking calls me, I'll see who it is and then text them.
That's what I do. Yeah, I'm like, text me. Why are you calling me?
No, I don't like talking on the phone. Just text
Hear
it.
your voice.
Oh.
Plus, my kids are always screaming in the background, so it's impossible to have a conversation with me on the phone anyway. So nobody wants to listen to that. Just text me.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I guess we should get back on topic. Okay. So, like I said, we're entering the world of cryptids this week with one of the gnarliest, dare I say, ugliest, possibly most frightening, creepy cryptid I have ever read about. Before we start, I have to make one little editor's note to our listeners. Not that it needs to be said, but it needs to be said. We take our folklore seriously, even if we joke around about it. And in no way do we mean to disrespect or make light of any cultural beliefs, any historical oral traditions, etc., etc., etc. Also, this is very rapey. And while we may laugh offensively at stuff, we do not think that's funny. Consider yourself trigger warned. And without... What was that snort?
It's a little funny. when it's a monster doing
we're
it.
awful. We can't. We laugh at...
I mean, you can't even get through the trigger warning. My
God,
goodness.
sorry. It's a little grumbling. It's not a person. Like, it's not funny when people do it, but if it's a monster, then I don't know.
Yeah, but still, I mean, just, okay. Well, without further ado, I am here to introduce you to Popobawa. Now, technically, it's argued that Popobawa is a Shetani, which, according to Wikipedia...
Shetani is a Swahili word used in various East African nations to refer to mostly malevolent, native pre-Islamic spirits. Shetani, the plural is Mashetani, borrows from the Arabic shaitan. That's a hard word for me. Big surprise.
Seems right.
Meaning devil, or more specifically, adversary. The word is cognate with the English word Satan, which comes ultimately from the same Semitic root. But for the purpose of this episode, and because, well, he fucking is, we will refer to Popobawa,
Yeah.
Popobawa, as the creepiest of cryptids around.
All right. So, Mells, since... I don't know, this might be the first episode that somebody ever listened to of our show. you should tell people what a cryptid is.
Okay, so I do have this pretty much under lock. Basically, there's a pseudoscience known as cryptozoology. Okay, don't ask me to say that again because it's really hard for me.
Yeah, that was pretty. You didn't think about it, and it went just.
That came off effortlessly.
Yeah. Well, I know a little bit about it. So it's a whole subculture that sets out to prove the existence of unbelievable creatures from folklore or passed down through cultural storytelling. In cryptozoology, these creatures are referred to as cryptids.
So it's like Bigfoot, the Winslow slap tit, Loch Ness monster, stuff like that.
Technically, yes. However, Popobawa makes those cryptids look like polite and inline little schoolboys, comparatively speaking.
Well, I don't know, because you don't know anything about the Winslow slap tit, but that's fine. We'll do another episode.
Sorry.
I don't know if I want to know anything about the slap tit, to be honest with you.
That word and then slapping, it makes my shoulders go up a little bit.
Well, I just imagine it has like really long like knockers, and I don't even want to go there.
Swinging around, right? I don't like the visual it gives me.
It's like a baseball in a tube sock or something.
I guess we'll have to cover that on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So just some patience, Acadia. Popobawa is believed to first have been discovered on the Tanzanian island of Pemba in 1965. So Tanzania, I know you probably know, but is a country on the central west coast of Africa, just south of Kenya and east of our old friend, the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I'm still upset about that episode that Shuey did.
Mm-hmm.
As far as cryptids go, the Popobawa is a recent one, but it has caused mass hysteria as recently as 1995 and 2007 along the coast of East Africa. Popobawa panic rose in 1995 in Zanzibar, which is an island off the coast of Tanzania, and in 2007 in Dar es Salaam, which is the largest city in East Africa. It sits on the east coast of Tanzania, and this isn't a small town or village. It's not a little tiny place. Dar es Salaam is a city that has over 5 million people.
Wow.
Yeah, that was...
There's 56 million people in Tanzania.
56
Big
million?
place. Yep.
In Tanzania.
Yep.
Wow.
Big place.
Yeah, that surprises me. The more you know. Now, getting back to Popobawa, like I said, technically Popobawa is considered one of the most infamous Shetani. So Shetani are usually naughty, naughty spirits that are found in many different forms. They're represented by popular art carvings throughout East African history. They're often shown as a mixture of distorted human and animal figures. One of my favorite Shetanis is the Yukonduka. Did I say that right? How do you say that?
Yukonduka.
It's fun to say. All right. One of my favorite Shetanis is the Yukonduka. I don't know what it looked like, since when I looked it up, all I got was info about some video game character with the same name, and we all know I don't play video games. So in the game, he's part crocodile, part human. But what I do know and what I like about this guy is that it feeds itself through sexual intercourse. What I originally was going to say, I can't say because my dad listens. Sorry, Dad. But what about you guys? If you fed through sexual intercourse, would you be big? Would you be little?
I would be about 5 pounds. So I need to get on whatever Ukanduka is on or whatever.
Yukonduka sounds like somebody encouraging someone.
You can do it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like Yukonduka all day long.
I love it. All right. You want to weigh in on that, Acadia, or are you just going to
weigh in?
I was about to say, clever choice of words.
Zing.
Just coming up with them. Popobawa in Swahili is translated to batwing, which is said to have come from the shape of the shadow spirit when it attacks at night.
So does the Popobawa have a different shape during the day?
Well, it's a shapeshifter, so it often takes the form of a human or an animal. Duh.
Well, unless it takes the form of a toaster sometimes, then human or animal are literally the only things it could take the shape of.
It could take the shape of a star.
A tree.
You're just naming shapes.
It's the first thing that came to my mind was a star.
All right, fine. It's a Play-Doh fun factory. It could be anything it wants. A bunch of spaghetti.
Could be some French fries. Just push it through.
Yeah.
Well, while it attacks at night, like its nocturnal shadow friend implies, it can also be seen during the day. While Popobawa originally became famous for its love of raping men, in more recent panics, Popobawa has included rapes but spread out to include other physical attacks, like giving the victim a bear hug until he or she passes out. Just kind of cuddly, I guess, in some way. So I guess it took the shape of a bear in that instance.
That's right.
Oh, ta-ting. All right. While it started with men, Popobawa no longer discriminates when choosing victims. It attacks men, women, and children, even members of the same family. The attacks mostly consist of physical attacks, but it is also said to simply scare its victims with poltergeist-like phenomena, which I would not be down for. I'd rather be squeezed to death by a bear hug than you come at me like a poltergeist. I would just drop dead.
Agreed.
That's me. Just squeeze the life out of me, but don't scare the life out of me. Speaking of, this is a little aside, but it wouldn't be the show if we didn't talk about TikTok once. But I saw a TikTok of someone's pet python opening a door, and I threw my phone across the room. And I was like, no more TikTok. I've been on TikTok strike ever since I saw that.
Oh, I just want the cutest one about a dog. No, I'm scared.
I know. It was like somebody learned to open the door, and I was expecting like a cute dog, and all of a sudden it was like, and it was like this big snake just fell on the floor, and I was like, oh God. Anyway, I got chill bumps now thinking about that.
Oof.
There's some scary shit on TikTok. Okay,
I'm like looking over my shoulder at the door now. Sorry, I'm gonna sleep. It's not Popobawa, it's the snake.
I like the fact that you've completely deflected the bat monster that rapes you.
Sorry.
Yeah, whatever. I'll take 5 bat monsters. Just don't let the snake open my door.
Exactly. Oh.
I don't want to know what the snake wants. I don't want to know.
We don't want to know, especially if it is Popobawa in shape-shifting form.
Ew.
All right. Now, I don't know if that means back on the poltergeist thing. I mean, I don't know if that means sucking you into the TV or having you swim with skeletons in your new pool. However, the deepest fear most have when it comes to the Shaitani Popobawa is sexual assault, which it is super famous for, like a Harvey Weinstein or Donald Trump.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Who put that piece in?
Well, I wonder.
So when locals are attacked,
yes,
yeah, he is. He left his mark. When locals are attacked, they're told to tell others exactly what happened to them. If they do not, the Popobawa threatens to come back and attack them again. During times of Popobawa panic, many families come together. You're making me laugh.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining it like his name escapes me, but the old guy on Family Guy, the muscly brown paper boy. Like I just imagine, him like waving his
ass down.
Yeah, exactly. Reach deep down in my pockets for the change. Like him just raising up his fist and being like, "Oh, okay, now I'm going to come back and get you if you just don't take it."
What I did.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. This is not funny. This is scary. Okay, so during times of Popobawa panic, many families come together to guard the local houses. So the families come together with the neighbors. They stay awake all night, huddled by fires, which kind of sounds like a good time to me. What do you guys think about this? I mean, not only does Popo sodomize you, but then he makes you tell everyone he sodomized you.
I mean, as if the action isn't bad enough, then you've got to like tell everybody for the rest of your life what happened to you. I mean, it's like getting pantsed. Yeah, it's like getting pantsed or like getting a wet Nelson or a wet Willie or whatever it's called. It's like, shit. Not only did this happen to you, but now I got to tell everybody I meet what this monster did to me.
So I just don't understand how that happens, though. Does like the Popobawa go, all right, well, listen, let's just run through this before we start. What am I going to do? Fuck me? And what are you going to do? Tell everybody?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
And then what are you going to tell your neighbor? Oh, God.
What if I don't tell everybody? I'm going to come back and do it again until you do.
Exactly. Like, I've got to put spectacles on you now. You're under the microscope.
Jesus. I mean, I guess technically, though, if your idea was to be a sex monster terrorist, that's the way to do it.
I mean, yeah, because this is what starts the panic. You tell your friend, now your friend is scared. Now your friend thinking that Popobawa is going to come to him if he doesn't believe in it. So he tells somebody else he believes in it. And it just starts this massive like hysteria.
Yeah, it's actually pretty frightening, in all seriousness. It's like, it's just all those. I mean, I didn't grow up listening about Popobawa, but I mean, it's all the stories that are passed down to you about things that can happen to you. This just happens to be a bat-like creature that can also shift into other things and get you. So,
yeah. Did you guys ever hear? My mom used to torment us with not Abby Yo-Yo. What was it? The Gunny Wolf? Do you know about the Gunny Wolf?
I
or did
don't.
you just make that up to terrorize us?
I thought you were going to tell me about Soap Sally.
No, this was just like when we passed, which is strange because I love the woods and mountains, but we would pass like 5 feet of trees, which on Long Island is a forest. And she'd be like, do you know about the Gunny Wolf?
Oh my God.
Really hard. You don't want to find them. So of course, like 7-year-old Snoops is like eyeballs to the window, like, please don't be there, Gunny Wolf. But
oh my gosh, it's like your mom was telling me about Slender Man.
Right? And she wonders why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
My mom never tried to terrify me with monsters, just with herself.
Yeah. About to say, like, my parents just did it with their plain human forms. They didn't have to tell me about anything else.
Oh, good old mom. Love you, Mom. All right. So here's the warning. So piggybacking off of that, here's the warning. For those of you who do not believe what we're saying, be warned. The cryptid is said to specifically target those who are non-believers. So it sneaks into your house of those who voice their disbelief, perhaps during a podcast or listening to a podcast. So it sneaks into your house and commits terrifying and unspeakable acts on them. So specifically, as we have touched upon several times, it's a big fan of sodomizing men. While we're on the subject of the background, let's talk about how this gross bastard is rumored to appear to its victims. So I guess, just as an aside again, I guess what it's trying to do is use the people it just raped as like a cautionary tale. Like, believe in me, or I'm going to come and do some butt stuff to you. I mean, I'm glad that Santa doesn't use that strategy.
That's right.
No,
Think how many people believe in Santa. There must be something.
No, he just asked for milk and cookies, which is fine. I mean, I can muscle those up for you. I don't want to muscle anything else up for you.
No.
Ugh.
Although there is that song about mommy kissing Santa Claus, so
that always weirded me out.
Yeah, I know. Especially when you hear a little boy singing it, or like it'd be a little child singing it, right? You're like, oh, stop.
No, ew. Creepy.
Ugh, God. Anyway, well, while Popobawa translates into Batwing, and it does often take the shape of a large one-eye figure with large bat-like wings, Popobawa is a shape-shifting cryptid. So it could be shifting right now as Charlotte McKinney starring in her next big Pauly Shore movie, and you, Acadia, wouldn't even know it.
Wouldn't care either.
Oh, gosh. I was going to say, that was just opening it right up for you.
Yep.
Popobawa can take the form of human, half animal, a quarter human, 3/4 animal. You get it. But it prefers to be unseen in the shadows. It is more like a shadow person than it is a large cryptid creature like Mothman or Bigfoot. However, it is more likely that Popobawa will become physical with his victims than the other large cryptids. People claim to smell an overwhelming scent of sulfur when they encounter Popobawa. So he's a big, stinky bastard, kind of like Santa Claus.
Yep. And he's worse than Santa Claus because he makes you learn fractions.
Yeah, I know. Like, what's up with that? Don't you dare. I am 3/4 animal this time.
All right. So we're going to skip right past the trigger warning and we're going to go straight to an ew warning. So you might want to go that 15 seconds ahead if you're easily grossed out. So Popobawa's intent, if it is to make a sexual attack, it prefers to attack from the behinds. During the attack, the creature's sexual organ, quote unquote, enlarges enormously. Seeing pictures, doing the research, really the first thing that came to mind was horse penis. Gross. Totally gross. So clearly this is going to leave any victim in pain or, if we want to go there, extreme pleasure, depending. I would usually just say pain. But I've seen some stuff.
I've been on Reddit.
What is pain to some is pleasure for others. But enough about Acadia.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, having to endure this.
I just had to give you a little dig. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
It said Popobawa only attacks victims in their homes. And if you sleep outside, you're safe from its evil ways, which is why I'm a huge fan of camping. Stay outside, stay safe, protect your rear.
Pause the podcast you're listening to right now and subscribe to Ghost Town.
Ghost Town is me, Rebecca Lieb.
And me, Jason Horton.
And we explore all kinds of weird history,
true crime,
hauntings,
paranormal events, and more.
We've covered the Slender Man stabbing, Tesla's death ray, the D.B. Cooper copycat, the cheerleader murder plot,
Heaven's Gate, the Lars Midtank mystery, and Tuesday's Child, Ellie's first satanic magazine, just to name a few.
You can find Ghost Town on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
So what do you guys think? What about his proclivities? Do we believe in him? Do we believe in cryptids? Where are you guys at?
I believe in it 100%. It all checks out for me. Why wouldn't there be a bat monster that comes in and bangs you in the ass and then threatens you to, if you don't tell anybody, that he's going to come back and do it again? What set of circumstances would cause that to become a legend?
Something, it had to get started from somewhere. I don't know.
The first guy that did it, what was his goal? What did he went to his buddy and went, oh man, monster came in my house last night. Oh really? What happened? He banged me in the ass.
He told me to tell you about it.
That's why I'm telling you, because otherwise he's going to come and do it again.
I'm doing it to you.
That's it.
That is one thing about Popobawa. Bigfoot wants to be reclusive. This guy just seems to be he wants to be out there.
He wants the fame. He wants to be feared.
Yeah.
Or he wants to find that special someone who doesn't tell anybody.
I finally found you.
Now I can just be with you all the time, and that's when the hugging part comes too.
Oh, the soft, cute, cuddly, life-sucking bear hug.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like of mice and men. Just squeeze it too hard. I know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I love Lenny.
I know. That's one of my favorites.
That was a good one. All right. So another interesting thing to add here is the times in which the trends of mass panic over Popobawa attacks occurred. Because let's face it, as hard as we try not to, everything becomes political at some point. Something Uncle Shuey likes pointing out a lot lately, regardless of the subject. Football, political. Christmas, very political. Farts, like the one Trump ripped while trying to get the Georgia Secretary of State to alter the election results. Ooh, political.
Oh, I gotta read these things closer when I start. Shuey!
That was Shuey.
Of course it was.
One in there. The mass hysteria caused by high numbers of Popobawa assaults often coincide with political heaviness. Coincidence? I don't think so. The elections of 1995, one of the times of mass Popobawa hysteria, came during the Tanzanian general elections. This was one of the most contentious elections the islands ever had, and it was a crazy time in Zanzibar. According to Ben Rollins, an author and researcher for Human Rights Watch, no matter what the outcome of the elections are, the results are always disputed. Unlike here in the good old US of A.
God damn it.
Sorry, I love it.
He's still with us.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's still here.
Jesus.
In the 2000 elections, there were these hanging chads. Oh, sorry. That was our fucked up election in 2000.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
It's actually getting hard because it's all Shuey right here. In Zanzibar in 2000, there was such pandemonium that the elections were actually canceled, restarted, and then boycotted by those opposing the redo. So it was just pure chaos. So
in the midst of all that, there's the Batman's running into bedrooms, banging people.
Time to be alive.
Jesus Christ.
So Shuey wants to know, what do we think of that? Remind us of anything in our current state of affairs?
Oh, no, we're not talking about any of that nonsense.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Bat Monster that is sometimes 3/4 chicken and 1/4 person.
Which
With a
part
giant-
do you think would be chicken? Like, would he have a big tail? Do you think he would have like?
I think he would just have one. If he was 3/4 chicken, he'd be a chicken with one human arm.
Oh wait, 3/4 chicken. Okay, I was thinking of 1/4 chicken. Okay.
If it's the other way around, then he would just have one wing.
No, I think the feet is what makes that scary for me. Those weird chicken
One
feet.
chicken foot?
Yeah, it would be like one weird chicken foot on a human would be odd.
What's going on there? Yeah, no.
That would be different. How'd you get your pants on? He'd have to wear a skirt.
There's no hide in that.
Or just a long trench coat. You don't have to wear pants at all.
But
Yeah, you're
imagine
never
the
gonna get-
sound that little like claw would make, like regular footstep, like It's scary to think about.
Three little prongs there.
I'm
just
doing
like,
it with my finger right now. I look like a dinosaur.
I was doing it with my fingers too. I was like poking in the air. I was like, you know.
And there's a mirror. Like I'm on the floor right now, and there's a full length mirror. I'm watching myself. It's not cute. Sorry,
So
guys.
chicken foot, horse dick, bat face.
This guy's a mess.
I mean,
And he uses the chicken foot to hold you in place while he bangs
God,
you.
it like
See?
clutches you.
Yeah. Oh man.
So you can't
Yikes.
get away.
This is starting to get scarier for me. Not gonna lie.
It'd be worse if you had a hand that had a chicken, if it was a chicken hand.
Oh God, ew!
A chicken hand.
Yeah, like your hand was like a chicken foot.
Oh, okay. I was like,
And you like
chickens don't
tapped
have
on things
hands.
with it.
Yeah, I know.
Tapped on your window. Knock, knock, knock. Open up.
Trying to sell you oranges at a red light.
Yeah. It like turns around and it's like, gotcha.
Oh God.
That's the importance of having a Ring doorbell nowadays.
Yeah, you can tell if it's a chicken man coming to bang you.
Well, not if the quarter of him, like his face, is human.
Oh, that's why you got to position the camera and get it positioned just right so you see the feet too.
The
You
angle
gotta
is
see him from
important.
coming up the walkway.
Or you just press the thing, you say, "Excuse me, can you back up so I can get a full body?" Full body scan, please. Thank you. Oh, just Domino's? Don't buy me. Leave the pizza there.
Yeah, contactless.
Oh my goodness.
This is probably putting all this. The lockdown is putting Popobawa in like prime business because everybody's home.
That's what the first thing I thought of is I was like, oh my gosh, during a pandemic, like he would be so busy and he would probably just wear himself out then.
But yeah, because no one would be able to go out to tell anybody what happened.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they'd be stuck in the house.
Away. Hey, Popobawa came to visit me.
Guess who banged me?
Pick up your can. I got something to tell you.
Oh, man.
Put your mask on.
Well,
I've got some news.
You're never going to believe this. Ow. All right. For you non-believers out there.
Well, who would be listening to us that doesn't believe in cryptids?
That's true. Nobody. But I am saying to cover all of our made up science and shit like that, I feel like it is apropos to bring up a little fact that I know and play devil's advocate for just a second.
Oh, okay. So you just want to be your normal self and a pain in the ass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is exactly. Well, yeah, pain in the ass. Zing.
Ooh.
It kind of feels like sleep paralysis.
Ooh.
Now, let me qualify that. The beginning part sounds like sleep paralysis. All the rest of it seems like it can't be sleep paralysis at all, but I can see where the beginning part could be, and sleep paralysis is a real actual thing.
Well, Popobawa is a real actual thing also, Acadia.
Fair.
All right, so Acadia isn't totally wrong here. So those who try to explain away the Popobawa phenomenon liken it to something like sleep paralysis. Many people who have claimed to have been assaulted by the Shaitani describe being awake while their body cannot move, they cannot scream for help, which, if you ever experienced it, is really just like sleep paralysis. So sleep paralysis is a state during waking or falling asleep in which a person is unable to move or speak. So during an episode, you're most likely going to hallucinate, which, hear things, feel things, see things, smell things that are not there. The condition, according to WebMD, is that it's triggered most commonly by sleep deprivation, psychological stress, or abnormal sleep cycles. I know, talking to Shuey, both him and I have had sleep paralysis a lot. What about you guys? Have you ever experienced it?
Not that I know of.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you would know. And I've never experienced it. I do suffer from insomnia, but I've never had any hallucinations or anything like that due to my insomnia. I've just been up for so long before that I slept then for a ridiculously amount of time afterwards. So it was
Right.
But no. And I had a friend once who did have sleep paralysis, and the things that she would describe, I mean, they terrified me. So that is something that's is a true absolute fear of mine is ever having sleep paralysis. It's super scary.
So, Mells, when you have a spout of not sleeping and then you sleep, do you ever have lucid dreams?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty similar to that, where you have a little bit of control over it and you're a little aware. It's happened to me. It started happening to me after I had my first son. And that's why I really do think it has something to do with sleep deprivation, because I never was deprived of sleep until children.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first time, so this was maybe 11 years ago, 10 years ago, and I'm in bed and reading about Popobawa, I was like, okay, I see what people are talking about, because you're sleeping, but you're awake. And it's always this shadow, like this shadowy figure with that kind of looks like a gargoyle that like hangs over you, and you can feel its weight on top of you. It'll talk to you and you want to talk back, but you can't, and you can't move. It's terrifying because you could feel the breathing of the thing that's around you. You can hear it, you can feel it. It's terrifying.
He didn't flip you over and throw one in your hoop, though, did he?
No, and if it did, I probably wouldn't tell anyone because that's embarrassing.
See? And then it would just happen again.
Well, now I know better. Maybe I can stop the sleep paralysis.
Maybe you can stop the cycle.
You can stop it by rolling over.
Ew! No,
it'll be like, whoa, lady, I'm just here to talk. I'm not here to do all of that now. Whoa.
Calm down.
I mean, let's get out of here. We're not coming back to this lady's house ever again.
That lady's weird.
Next time it shows up, just say, I know what you're really here for, Buster, okay? Just get it over with.
It's terrifying, though. And it's like,
I believe it.
Those dreams that you have that it just doesn't go away. You remember it. It feels so real, and it like upsets you afterwards.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. But I believe that.
Obviously, I believe in the Popobawa, but I can see how something that you dream feels so real and so threatening and so terrifying that you have to go and run and tell people.
Yeah.
And now the whole thing with sleep paralysis is just like with dreams. You know, you see something, you hear something during the day, and then it just kind of sticks in your brain, and then it's a loop in your dream, right?
Right.
So you tell your friend or your neighbor, hey, Popobawa just came with his horse penis and devastated my life. He might dream about that. Then he's going to do the same thing, and the neighbor's going to do the same thing, and it's just this continuous cycle of people being scared of their dreams.
Oh my gosh. It's like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Don't take the sleeping pills.
Nope. All right, so there's one thing that I'd like to discuss also with Popobawa. It's the impacts it had on people. So in 1995, people were being accused of being Popobawa. During that year's panic, at least 6 men were assaulted for being the Shetani. And here's a first-hand account of one of the attacks.
One day, Popobawa decided to do his evil here in Witi, in a part of the town called Mitiulea, near the harbor. He went into the first house, and the people inside made a lot of noise. When he left, he also left his terrible stench behind. Oh my gosh. It's like a walking garbage disposal.
Rotten egg sulfur.
He then went to another house, whereupon one of the inhabitants fell into a possession trance. When she was possessed, she came outside, chasing Popobawa away, making a great racket as she did so. The neighbors also came out of their houses, and some of them became possessed too, and joined her in pursuing Popobawa. And so there began a great chase from one alleyway to another, with a lot of shouting. There he is! There he is! Seize him! Seize him! The chase continued, and they ran down to Mitiulea School, then back up the houses below the banana palms, and finally they ended up on the road which goes to the harbor. Near this road is the Six-Saw Mill building. This was a company which used to sell timber, and they saw a man standing beside it. So they ran after him, shouting, "Here he is! Here he is!" There was a lot of commotion, and the man they were after began to say, "I'm not him, not him, not him. Please, I'm not him." But he was told, "You are him, and there's no way we're going to let you go." He began to be beaten and dragged towards the road, one person pulling him this way and another that way. Regardless, there was a great turmoil, and he was carried up in the air, and the commotion continued until he was brought down to the road. Once he was by the road, a lamp was brought so that he could be examined properly. I mean, this poor guy, geez. Everyone could be heard saying, oh, it's that lunatic. It really was a sad affair because the man they had beaten up was mentally ill and lived in that area. He was seriously injured, his arm was broken, and his face was badly swollen, while both his legs were very badly grazed. He had to be taken to the hospital, and everyone in that area had to look after him until he was better. This unfortunate incident was all because of Popobawa. Gosh, that's crazy.
I know, and the poor guy, he was just walking around. He had his mental health in question, getting accused of being Popobawa.
I know.
Well, what didn't they first say, show us your horse penis?
Or your chicken claw?
Yeah.
Or where are
Seems like that would be pretty easy to narrow down.
Well, maybe he shapeshift into a human.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, you didn't think about that, did you, smarty?
No, I guess not. But there's another case from that same academic paper that we got it from.
So it's an account of a man fatally attacked.
It was only recently that we heard the news that on Sundays, the 2nd of April, 1995, a man had been killed on Unguja because he was suspected of being Popobawa. This, at least, is what is said. All night long, people had been kept awake by the noise and disturbance made by Popobawa, first in this house, then in that. Though through until the early morning, just fucking and threatening.
He was on a rampage.
One man opened his front door and outside saw a stranger he didn't know. The stranger was wearing a large charm, a harizi, around his neck. It was said that when Popobawa walks about, he wears a large charm which has an awful stench.
What is it? A clove of garlic he's carrying
I
around
don't know.
his neck?
Why is
He's
he,
known
why
as a
is,
stinky guy.
but why?
So they remember. Isn't scent tied to the memory? So they remember.
I guess. Ugh. What does he also give you a wet willy while he's banging you? Like he's just gross.
Just go ahead and give him a swirly while you're at
Yeah,
it.
I know, right? Ugh. The local man immediately suspected that this was Popobawa. Immediately he shouted out, calling people to come and deal with the stranger. On hearing this, the stranger began to run away. Everyone came out of their houses, some with machetes, some with knives, and others with clubs. There he is, it's him, it's him. There was a great commotion and chase until they caught up with him and began to beat him. So whatever weapon a person had, whether it was a machete, a club, or something else, was used to strike Popobawa until he was dead. And once he was dead, his body was cut into pieces.
Oh,
Unfortunately, the poor man who was killed was not Popobawa, but someone who was mentally ill. Again. He had been brought from Dar es Salaam in order to be taken to a psychiatric hospital. In 2 days' time, he was due to be taken there, but the poor soul was out of luck. At least that's what a member of the murdered man's family said afterwards.
Right. So any chance one of these guys or anyone else that was attacked or killed was actually Popobawa? All right, so you're Popo, right? And people are closing in. Wouldn't you use your magical charms and stench to shapeshift? Or I don't know, are there limitations on its power? It can shapeshift, but it takes 24 hours or something like that.
No, that's it. You could turn into a fucking lion and then just eat the people that are trying to kill you.
Yeah, but what if it's like this? Hear me out on this, okay? What if it's like Mordred Dantidi in the last Dark Tower book, okay? And he's a human, but he's also a spider, right? But every time he shapeshifts, it drains a little bit more of his ability to do it unless he's properly fed. What if it's an instance like that, or am I just trying to slide Stephen King into yet another episode?
It's yes, that's exactly what you're doing, because obviously the butt sex would give him his energy back.
Well, yeah, but if he's been beaten up and all of that, I don't know. I mean, what if it's oh gosh, it's almost like erectile dysfunction. It's like performance anxiety, right? Oh God, I can't shapeshift because I'm getting beat up.
If people were trying to beat me up, I would turn into a gorilla with a crocodile head.
Interesting.
And then I would be able to swing in the trees and be super strong and bite your head off in one chomp.
I would just turn into that python and open the door and leave.
I'm out of here.
Don't. I'm out of here. Watch me slither away, everybody.
I have business elsewhere.
Yeah. You'll see me later.
Oh, no. I don't know. I'm still kind of stuck. Like, going back 2 minutes, you said slide it in, and I'm still stuck there.
Oh, no. If you slide it in and get stuck there, that's worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Don't tell people that.
Oh, so gross. I don't even want to go there.
We shouldn't be laughing.
I don't even want to go there. So gross.
Sorry. I'm filthy. Sorry.
It's not you. It's Acadia. It's all Acadia.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, taking all of this into account, obviously, where do we stand with the Popobawa issue? I mean, do we have any non-believers amongst us?
Nope.
If anything, I believe it more now.
I mean, you have to, because if you don't believe it, guess who's knocking on your door?
That's right.
Well, I don't believe it, and I dare them because I have a Ring doorbell. Also, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb when I go to bed at night, so he's not getting in this house.
Unless he's a python who knows how to open the door.
Because guess what? The python is down low on the ground, and the doorbell would never see it.
There you go.
Knock, knock, knock. You know what? There have been a lot of phantom doorbell ringings in my neighborhood lately. I wonder if it's that python. It's
Yep.
like, oh no.
People, like,
Now I'm TikTok famous. I'm just going to do like DoorDash or like knock, knock, ditch or whatever that
Ring and run.
Yeah, whatever that stupid game is called. And like, oh, you can't catch me. I'm TikTok famous, bitch.
I mean, like, with the rings now, do people still do that? Like,
oh yeah, like
who's knocking on your door when you're on film?
It's so ridiculous. I mean, in this neighborhood, it's always a bunch of kids, but I'm like, what is snowing outside? Like, you don't have anything better to do at 3:00 in the morning than go like ring your neighbors' doorbells? I mean, come on.
It's kind of, you know what? There's worse things they could be doing, I guess.
I'm sure, but
It's
in
annoying.
the same vein, I'm like, oh, if Wildcat ever did something like that, I would be like, first of all, here's some sleeping medicine because you obviously have insomnia like me. But second of all, like, just stay up and watch the TV all night long. Like, don't get out of bed. Just be lazy about it. Yeah. Expand your knowledge.
Stop knocking on people's doors.
Yeah. Like, don't go out of the house.
I think they'll just be little robots that are at the end of the driveway that the packages go in and then the robot comes to the house.
Oh my gosh.
That will keep people even further away from us.
Can I tell you another TikTok that I saw?
Please do.
Yeah, but we're almost out of time, so this has to be the last TikTok.
I'll make it really quick, but it made me think of this. So someone filmed, and I guess it's because of the pandemic, but they were at a Marriott hotel, and they had this little robot, and it looks kind of like a little trash can, but it comes up to your door, and you open the door, and it says, like, on the screen, it says, do you need service? And you press yes, and the little lid flops up, and it gives you, like, toilet paper and pairs of towels in there, right? And you get it out, and then it closes the lid, and it says, did I meet your needs? And if you press yes, a little sound comes out that sounds like, yay, and it does a little turn. And then it just goes on down the hall. I know. It's the cutest thing. Now, I watched that with
like a little BB-8. Like,
yeah, I watched that with like 6 or 7 times in a row. I was like, I'm fine with that. This was obviously after I got over my snake fear. But I was like,
it opens up its lid and a little snake pops out.
Oh my gosh, I would have died.
Surprise!
Surprise, bitch, I'm back. You thought your phone was safe. Yay, I did it.
So this was really like my first real dive into the world of Shatanis and cryptids. I have to admit, I'm kind of a newbie there. I'm more of like true crime, mystery, conspiracy type girl. But this actually fascinated me, and now I'm like in the rabbit hole. I'm definitely more sure of my belief that sleeping outside is always a good idea. I need to get more sleep. I need to keep my stress down. And we all need to scream into the night sky that we believe in Popobawa, because it is a nope for me on ever meeting this thing in my lifetime. So I don't have to see something to believe it, which I used to think, to believe it or be scared of it. And I think I'm smart enough to take the proper precautions in avoiding meeting him. So him being the bat-winged cyclops shadow that attacks your rear in your sleep, yeah, that's a hard nope from me.
Well, if that's the way you're going to be about it, I think we should be ambassadors to our cryptid friends, but whatever. You can be selfish.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm busy that night.
If you wanna try and convince those of us on Strangeful Things that we should rethink our positions on the Popobawa, you can find Shuey at Shuey Time on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Acadia on Twitter, and the show is Strangeful Pod. Mells is Mells84 on Twitter and Superficial Mells on Instagram. And Snoops is Snoop Strange on Instagram.
Yes, and if you would like to rate and review us, we'll open the lid and we'll give you your toilet paper, and then we'll do a little twirl and say, yay! But you can do that on any podcast platform that you listen to us on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel so inclined, get onto patreon.com/strangeful. There's a lot of extra content. There's a lot of fun going on over there. I'm going to plug myself because I'm doing a Ask Me Anything that should be up probably at the end of this week. Get on it.
Oh, yeah, I've been waiting for that one.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Oh, it's not that late.
Now I got to do the Winslow slap tit thing.
Yeah. God,
I
anyway.
just don't like the way it sounds.
Like I said, baseball's in a sock, my friend. Count your blessings.
Don't go to sleep in your bed. Sleep outside. Do not say hello to Popobawa. You believe in him. Tell him you believe in him.
Bye-bye.